Hello my goblins and ghouls, and welcome to a very special haunted episode of Side Flick. There's been a couple little horror tidbits floating around, and I thought since we're in the Spooky Mama season, why not just do an episode dedicated to these little bits of horror news? Not a whole lot, but still something fun to talk about. Here we're going to be looking at the trailer for the new Christmas horror movie, It's a Wonderful Night. We now know how you could be one of the first people to see the teaser trailer for Terrifier 3. We also got our first look and details with the Strangers prequel trilogy. Some has me excited, some hesitant. Really, we're going to be spooking into all that information down below, so I need you to spook that like button, spook that subscribe button. Almost at 600k. How great would it be to hit 600k in October? Or maybe 666? Could we make that happen? I'm willing to risk the possession for it. But whatever the case may be, let's just dive into all the movie news we got here. Starting off with a couple of haunted trailers. Earlier this week, we got a much longer full-length trailer to the Thanksgiving horror movie trailer, and wow, does it look like bloody fun. This looks like a classic slasher film with all the creative juices I was looking for. Eli Roth is going all out with this pilgrim costume, the aesthetic from the hat to the axe, and even at one point in the trailer they mentioned he's only using Thanksgiving utensils. The little tidbits of people getting taken down by this pilgrim also look like they're going to be pretty gory. I'm not expecting much than just to have a simple fun time here. I was also surprised. I thought Addison Rae was one of the main stars of the movie, but she's just a side character. No, a lot of people were bagging on this movie because it was starring a TikToker, but she doesn't seem to be a main player in it. I also like how they threw in this fake Walmart called Right Mart, and it looks like there's this dark history in the town of a Black Friday that went really wrong. I can already tell I'm just going to have a blast with this movie either way. They're already making action figures for this movie, so I'm giving that trailer a treasure, and I can't wait for the Thanksgiving horror movie. Another trailer for a horror movie I was looking forward to because slashers are just in hot supply right now. We got the trailer for the horror movie called It's a Wonderful Night, and this also has a premise I'm digging. So we follow this town called Angel Falls where Justin Long is the mayor, getting the ticket just for Justin Long. But the premise is that our main character stops the killer at the beginning of the movie, revealing it is Justin Long, flashing forward a year to where she's kind of traumatized. She's not having a good life, and she wishes she was never born, putting herself in a reality where that becomes true. And since she was never born, she never stopped the killer to begin with, and now she has to put a stop to it and get back to her reality. I'm also really digging the costume of this slasher. You guys know my stance on slasher costumes. I need more than just a black outfit with a random mask, and they went the opposite here. They gave us an all-white robe with this glossy mask, this awesome knife. I really dig the angel aesthetic look they were trying to go with for this slasher. Just imagining the scenes where they take someone down and they get covered in that sweet cranberry juice. That dry cleaning bill's gonna go crazy. It's coming to theaters November 10th. I'm giving this a treasure, and I'm adding it to my list to watch. Moving on here, I did want to pose a question to you guys since this weekend we are getting the release of The Exorcist Believer. I'm so curious to hear what general audiences are going to think about this movie, whether they like it or dislike it. The early consensus for this movie is that it's not very well liked right now. At least the critic score has it super low, and we know that they have a planned trilogy on their hands. Or at least they already got a second movie announced. So I really wanted to pose the question, is there a possibility they might not even continue with this trilogy? Or if they do, which I think they will continue with it, will they let go of David Gordon Green, or will he still be on board? I'm not saying he was the cause for why the movie wasn't great, because again, I think David Gordon Green had some cool ideas in The Exorcist Believer, but man, did the movie just feel average at best. I wonder if they're gonna do like a big turnaround and try to address a lot of the criticisms, or if there's a real possibility they just abandon the idea of this trilogy entirely. It's definitely up in the air right now. We'll see really when the box office numbers come in through the weekend, but I wanted to ask you guys, with you see the reception to Exorcist Believer, what do you think they should do? Continue on with the trilogy and make some creative changes, or just let go of the idea of this trilogy altogether? Bring me to talk about Terrifier 3. Man, I am looking forward to some more Art the Clown in my life. I remember when there was only a handful of us horror fans who knew who Art the Clown was, and then Terrifier 2 really just put the guy on the map to where he's starting to become semi-mainstream. And well, around the spooky season, there are people wondering, where is Terrifier 3? When are we going to get to the answers that were left open in Terrifier 2? What's next for Art the Clown? And well, now we know when you can see the teaser trailer. It was revealed that there will be a screening for Terrifier 2 November 1st, mostly at AMC theaters. And if you're one of the people that purchases a ticket to see the movie November 1st, one, you're not only going to get the first poster for Terrifier 3, you will also be given a teaser trailer for the third movie. It'll be a theater exclusive thing, and reading in some of the details, this isn't like a 5-10 second thing. The director of the movie had this to say: for those of you speculating that the Terrifier 3 teaser is just going to be some 20-second gimmick, I assure you, it's a legit teaser trailer. It's over 2 minutes long, and you're gonna effing love it. Exclusively in theaters, November 1st. I think this is kind of a cool thing. I kind of like the idea of having a theater-only trailer before it hits online. Just knowing that it was gonna be in theaters, I bought my ticket already, and I'm gonna be there November 1st. But even for my people who can't make it, there's gonna be someone in those audiences that records it, puts it on their phone, then uploads it to TikTok or YouTube. So you'll see it either way, but do you want your first look of this trailer to be some grainy background type footage, or you want the Mac Daddy Art the Clown cheeks in your face? You know you want that white and black makeup on you. So yeah, Terrifier 3. If you want to be one of the first to watch that teaser trailer, get your tickets November 1st. Bringing me now to our first look of the upcoming Strangers trilogy. You guys know I've been looking forward to seeing what they do with these 3 movies. They're still set to be an October New York Comic Con panel, which is where we'll most likely get our first trailer or something released online. But until then, we've gotten 3 photos released along with the titles and some details on what they plan to do with these 3 sequels, and you tell me how you think about this. So, as I'm showing you the photos of Madeline Pesh and the boyfriend, Froy Gutierrez, who will be playing Ryan, because a reminder, the premise of the movie is that a couple goes to an Airbnb and the strangers show up to make their night horrifying. In the details, they let us know that the title of the movies will be The Strangers Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. For the first movie in the trilogy, they mention it'll be extremely similar to the original 2008 film, I guess, in terms of tone and the way it plays out. But once we get to the other 2 movies, this is where it has me kind of hesitant, because they say here, The Strangers Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, Harlan notes, explore what happens to the victims of this kind of violence and who the perpetrators are of this kind of violence. Where are they coming from and why? That is what got me going. I don't know how I feel about that. One of the scariest things about The Strangers and those 2 movies, whether you like the second one or not, is the mystery of these strangers. It's like, why are they doing this? How come they chose this family? What's going on? There's a line in that first movie that's very chilling where they're like, why are you doing this? Why us? And they just respond with, because you were home, insinuating that they almost have no reason for doing what they do other than the fact that they just like to slash and mess around with some people. If the movie trilogy starts to dive into who they are, why they're doing this, unmasking them, peeling those layers, I feel like it's a small chance you could enhance the story, while there's a greater chance you would just ruin the mystery and it wouldn't be as fun anymore. But I'm gonna try and keep an open mind, because this is from the director who did Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and you know what? Any director of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise tackling a horror movie, I'm gonna be on board. So I'm just here hoping whatever backstory and reasoning they give to these strangers, it can make sense. Or not even make sense, but just still feel creepy and horrifying. I throw it off to you guys. You see that the Strangers trilogy is going to be tackling the answers of where they came from and why. Do you think that's a good idea? But that's all the horror movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.